Chapter 18 of Essentials of Marketing. Chapter 18 of Essentials of Marketing. Ethical Marketing in a Consumer-Oriented World, Appraisal and Challenges. In this lecture, we're going to talk about why marketing must be evaluated differently at the micro and macro levels, why this textbook, Essentials of Marketing, argues that micro-marketing costs way too much, why the book argues that macro-marketing does not cost too much, understand all the elements of the marketing strategy planning process and strategy decisions for the 4 Ps, how to prepare a marketing plan and how it relates to marketing strategy planning process, and some of the challenges marketers face as they work to develop ethical marketing strategies that serve consumers' needs. So here we see that satisfaction and cost serve as the criteria for evaluating the impact of marketing. A nation's objectives affect the evaluation of marketing. The social and economic objectives of a nation may differ depending on the nation's socio-political structure. Consumer satisfaction is the objective in the United States. So this objective is derived from a market-based economic system, and it implies that political freedom and economic freedom go hand in hand. In the U.S., people have the right to live as they choose and to satisfy their economic and social needs as they choose. Customer satisfaction is also featured here in this advertisement with Siebel, e-business applications. So in a survey, Siebel's customers reported increased satisfaction as a result of using Siebel's products and services. We must evaluate marketing at 2 levels. The micro or managerial level concerns the marketing activities of an individual firm, and second, the micro level concerns the whole marketing system works. We will also look at the key components of a marketing plan and then discuss the challenges facing marketeers. Since consumer satisfaction is such an important objective, marketing's effectiveness must be measured by how well it satisfies consumers. One of the measurements is the American Customer Satisfaction Index done by the University of Michigan. It is based on regular interviews with thousands of consumers and covers 200 companies in 39 industries. This sort of index makes it possible to track changes in customer satisfaction over time and to do comparisons across countries. However, there are limits to this type of measure. To some extent, satisfaction depends on individual aspirations. A level of performance that is satisfactory today may not be in the future. Consumer satisfaction is also highly personal. Therefore, looking at the average satisfaction level of a whole society does not provide a complete picture for evaluating macro marketing effectiveness. On the other hand, there are many measures of micro marketing effectiveness. Firms use attitude research, comment cards, email surveys, consumer feedback, and other methods. Repeat purchase and profitability measures also provide some rough indicators of satisfaction. Therefore, evaluating micro-marketing effectiveness is difficult but not impossible. Too many firms are still too production-oriented and inefficient. As evidence of this fact, the failure rate is high for new products. The marketing efforts of inefficient firms can lead to dissatisfied customers. Marketing inefficiencies and the customer dissatisfaction that results from them can be linked to one or more of the following reasons: lack of interest in consumers. Perhaps managers in a firm are diligently concentrating their energy on their production processes. That may be well-intentioned, but still cannot be excused in a modern, globally competitive economy. Improper blending of the 4 Ps is another one. The high cost of poor marketing mixes is evident when firms blend the 4 Ps poorly because they are overemphasizing internal concerns instead of practicing a customer orientation. Lack of understanding of the marketing environment. Marketers may fail to adapt to change in time or don't realize that competitors are adapting. For many firms, micro-marketing does not cost too much, but things are changing. Many companies are becoming more customer-oriented, and another sign of failure is the inability of firms to identify new target markets and new opportunities. Some critics argue that macro-marketing costs too much. A common criticism is that the macro-marketing system causes poor use of resources and leads to an unfair distribution of income. Some people feel that marketing contributes to the development of monopolies, or at the very least, monopolistic competition. They contend that marketing leads to higher prices, restricted output, and reductions in national income and employment. However, as firms succeed, success attracts competition and encourages innovation. So in this ad for Mail Station from Earthlink, we have a good example. It allows a user to have access to email without the requirements of a computer. New products like Mail Station increase consumer choice, attract competition, and help grow the economy. Marketers should be sensitive to other popular criticisms of macro marketing. Many critics are offended by advertising, the most often criticized micro-marketing activity. But what about the macro view of advertising? Is advertising a waste of resources? In relation to the volumes of products sold, advertising is an efficient way to communicate product benefit information. This efficiency contributes to economies of scale in production, distribution, and sales. Others argue that consumers are too easily controlled by business firms. But consumers are not puppets. People are not as controllable as this criticism suggests. Competition offers consumers different alternatives. Needs and wants change. If consumers do not want change, they can usually find plenty of need satisfaction from other existing products. But most people want better need satisfaction than they already have. Marketers work to improve the overall quality of life by making products that lead to higher levels of need fulfillment. There is no doubt that marketing caters to materialistic values. However, people disagree as to whether marketing creates these values or simply appeals to values already there. Not only do consumers in a free society have choices, but they have virtually unlimited wants and needs. Thus, advertising tends to inform people about products that will help fulfill these wants and needs. Critics suggest that advertising elevates the wrong values by overemphasizing sexual appeals and self-gratification. In the short run, marketing reflects social values, but marketing enhances and reinforces them in the long run. Products do improve the quality of life by making it possible to satisfy higher level needs. Microwave ovens, automatic teller machines, reliable cars, and the internet are examples of how products can save consumers time. Consumers can use this time in turn to pursue other interests. Not all needs are met, however, even in countries with well-developed macro marketing systems. There are homeless people, illiterate adults, people who suffer discrimination, the sick, and the hungry. Macro marketing systems can become more efficient, driving down the prices of goods and services so that more people can afford them. However, macro marketing cannot eliminate all social problems or guarantee the success of government aid programs. So let's check our knowledge. The Department of Motor Vehicles in a large U.S. state decided to conduct a survey to determine the level of satisfaction with its services among a random sample of consumers. The survey cost $25,000 and the results were pretty positive. People in general seemed reasonably satisfied with DMV services. As the agency's managers were busy congratulating themselves, one manager remarked, "So much for how people feel about us now. We'll have to work even harder just to maintain the current level of customer satisfaction when we do the survey next year." What would best explain this manager's observation? D. Consumer expectations change over time and often increase. So the most logical explanation is that consumer expectations change over time. So this manager is aware that the marketer's job is to satisfy today's consumer wants, but also to keep looking for better ways to serve consumers. Strategy planning is complex, but it is guided by basic principles. Among these is the marketing concept. It focuses on all of a firm's activities on meeting the needs of its target markets, which is a profit. From a planning perspective, it is useful to differentiate between strategies and plans. A marketing strategy consists of a target market and a marketing mix, or the big picture of what the firm will do in some target market. Strategy explains the what and why of a company's marketing actions. A marketing plan includes time-related details, including expected costs and revenues for the marketing strategy. Plans answer where, when, who, and how of a company's marketing actions. In this example here, Dell plans and develops different marketing mixes for different geographic markets, from Antarctica to Vietnam, and different product type markets, including the home, small business, large business, government, education, and healthcare. So as this ad shows, Dell doesn't just sell home computers. So, a SWOT analysis identifies and lists the firm's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are internal to the company. Opportunities and threats are external. A strength is something a firm does well. It may be a process, a patent, or some other product-related activity like customer service, product delivery, or channel support. Well-developed strengths can lead to a distinct competitive advantage. Weaknesses are areas where the firm performs less well than competitive firms. These are areas where the firm needs to improve, or at least not compete head-to-head with better performing organizations. Opportunities are events conditions, or situations in the external environment that are particularly well suited or attractive to the way a firm does business or is planning to do business. The firm tries to match its strengths to opportunities that emerge, are emerging, or will emerge within the planning period. Threats are events or conditions in the external environment that are not well suited or attractive to the way a firm does business or is planning to do business. Companies try to avoid threats or minimize their impact. A good SWOT analysis helps the manager focus on a strategy that takes advantage of the firm's opportunities and strengths while avoiding its weaknesses and threats to its success. As illustrated in this ad by Cummings Printing, we're trying to capitalize on one of its strengths, customer service. So let's check our knowledge. Which of the following would a SWOT analysis classify as an opportunity for Microsoft? Is it A, Microsoft has a great deal of cash available for marketing strategies? Again, we're looking for an opportunity. B, Microsoft develops new patented technology that makes its software run faster. C, European trade regulators consider rulings that would require Microsoft to develop a new version of Windows for its market. D, emerging markets in Asia and Africa show increased demand for computers and software. There it is, D. SWOT analysis looks at a firm's internal strengths and weaknesses as well as opportunities and threats in the external market environment. Opportunities are external to the company and provide a favorable advantage, so D is the fit. Ideally, the ingredients of a good marketing mix flow logically from the relevant dimensions of the target market. Information gaps, competition, and the changing marketing environment make developing a good mix very difficult. All the aspects of the product area, such as the product's benefits, its quality, and its service dimensions, must match customer needs. Demographic dimensions of the target market determine where customers are located. Knowing where customers shop helps to define channel alternatives. Knowing if and how customers search for information helps to define the promotion blend. The value of the marketing mix, the urgency of customer needs, and an understanding of available substitutes help companies to estimate price sensitivity. In cases where information about a target market is lacking, the product classes can suggest typical marketing mixes. Once the manager has selected the target market, decided on the marketing mix, and developed estimates of the costs and revenue for that strategy, the marketing plan provides a blueprint for implementation. So in this chart, we see the major sections of the marketing plan. The marketing plan spells out the timing of the strategy. The plan should include a time frame for each element of the plan, along with the expected estimates of sales and profit, so that the plan can be compared with actual performance in the future. A complete plan spells out the reasons for decisions about the marketing mix by including information about customers, competitors, the environment, the company's objectives, and its resources. The plan should be routinely checked and updated. As some elements of the plan or the marketing environment change, the whole plan may need a fresh approach. What types of challenges do marketers face in the future? What do consumers need from marketers? Marketers must focus on providing value to consumers and adjusting their internal operations toward that end. Change is the only thing that's constant. We need better marketing performance at the micro level, A commitment to continuous improvement links needed changes in marketing strategies to specific changes in the environment. So as you can see here, we summarize some of the changes and trends marketers have to deal with in the coming years. As you look at these changes, many of them focus on technological improvements. Marketers must constantly evaluate their strategies to make sure they are not outpaced by the competition. Some companies are afraid to do anything different at all, but a twist on the old adage now says, if it ain't broke, improve it. What does the increased consumer interest in globalism, technology, and social responsibility mean for marketers? We need to welcome international competition because it is not a temporary phenomenon. Instead of constantly viewing international competition as a threat, marketers should recognize that more competition represents more opportunities for better ways of doing business. We need to use technology wisely. Technological improvements force marketers to learn more, to be more flexible and innovative in meeting consumer needs, and to take the time to consider the ethical implications of new technologies. Technology gives consumer power. We may need more social responsibility. Marketing managers need to learn how to interpret marketing activities from the consumer's point of view. Long-run consumer welfare must be considered. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you is a useful rule. Marketers need to work harder and smarter at finding ways to satisfy consumer needs without sacrificing the current or future environment. So here we see a Honda Civic ad, the first mass market vehicle to provide a hybrid powertrain option in America. This differentiates Honda from other automobile brands. Honda's genuine environmental leadership shows a progressive view of environmental concerns. We need the truth. Promotion provides powerful ways to communicate with customers. Various legal and ethical concerns will continue to challenge marketers in the years ahead. As information technology helps marketers identify and serve target markets better, there is always the concern that very sensitive information, such as credit information, can be inaccurate and or misused. There is increasing pressure to enact more laws protecting consumer privacy. In the area of privacy and other areas, we may need to change laws and how they are enforced. Laws must protect consumers, and enforcement should consider this a priority. However, before enacting new laws, government decision makers should evaluate the adequacy of laws that already exist. Laws should also affect top managers. For example, prosecution of the top managers who set harmful policies would be more effective than going after lower-level operatives. Laws merely define minimal ethical standards. Other formal and informal codes of ethics exist that provide greater detail about what is acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Thus far, the emphasis has been on the responsibility of marketers, but consumers have responsibilities too. We need socially responsible consumers. Some consumers abuse return policies in retail stores, change price tags in self-service stores, shoplift, and expect stellar customer service. Honest consumers pay higher prices because of these abuses. Consumers need to accept their share of the responsibility for preserving an effective macro marketing system. Consumers can also take advantage of the information available from government and private sources that help them to be more intelligent buyers. How should the marketing concept go? And how far should it go in satisfying consumer needs? Marketing managers should be expected to increase consumer choices, but constant consumer citizens should vote on the changes, either through their purchase behavior or their involvement with the government. So, let's check our knowledge. Which of the following statements indicates that a marketing manager is about to make a serious mistake? Competitors, I don't worry about them. If we do our job, we'll be okay regardless of what anyone else does. There it is. That's a big mistake. Options B, C, D, and E are perfectly fine for a marketing manager, but A indicates that the marketing manager is about to make a serious mistake. It is never wise to ignore the competition and instead have a tunnel vision focus on our job. Let's do one more. Which of the following marketing trends would you least expect to see in the future? Well, we see web blogs. We see emphasis on product placement. We see more Spanish language. We see increased market share. E, less attention to distribution, customer service. We have discussed changes in the market that support A through D. There's no mention that less attention to distribution, service, customer service will occur in the future. In fact, there is little reason to expect that consumers would be satisfied with backsliding by marketers on the service levels that they have come to expect. Also, competitive pressure will hasten improved service levels. So by now you should be able to understand why marketing must be evaluated differently at the micro and macro levels, why we argue that micro marketing costs too much, and why we argue that macro marketing does not cost too much. We understand the elements of the marketing strategy planning process now and strategy decisions for the 4 Ps. And finally, we know how to prepare a marketing plan and how it relates to marketing strategy planning process and the challenges marketers face as they work to develop ethical marketing strategies that serve consumers' needs.